Hi, boys and girls. It's time for another Jeep Talk Show interview, and tonight we're going to be doing something a little different for 2025. Glad everybody was able to make it here with us. Chris, that includes you.
Thank you. Good to be here.
So Chris is he's a volunteer for the show. Chris works very hard and diligently, sometimes irritating people, to get them on the show and be an interview guest. So I thought it'd be really good for our first interview of 2025. We get Chris on and we just have a little chat about the process that he goes through, what we do to get people on the show, and maybe answer some questions. Maybe you have been interested in being on the show, and you have a business and you're not quite sure what if we interview people that have businesses. Maybe you don't have a business, maybe you don't have a product to sell, and you're not too sure about being on because you don't have something that you're trying to sell to people. And I'll just jump ahead and tell you, it doesn't matter as long as there's a Jeep involved. We're happy to have you on the show.
Absolutely.
We certainly don't mind talking about product. It's a lot of fun. I remember talking to Zach from Spicer Dana recently, and I got to ask him a bunch of questions about the Dana axles. And that was just so much fun to have talk to, the source or one of the sources at that place. And of course, I talk about irritating people. That was one of the people that you kind of irritated, Chris.
Yeah, I had to chase Zach for a while. I've had the opportunity being in the Detroit area near Toledo. I've run into Zach here, there, and a little bit everywhere, and really chase after him and pestered him enough, and he got on the show. But you're right. It's I like what you've said many times is we're here to inform and entertain, and that's something I tell folks when I follow up with them as to what our goal is, and it's just that, to inform and entertain. Having product folks on like Zach, Dana Spicer is great. Others, Tyree Lighting, it's been a good supporter and sponsor of the show for a couple of years now. But we just want to inform and entertain, and not inform too much and not entertain too much, if that makes sense.
Oh, I don't think you can never entertain too much. It just depends on
Correct.
what it just depends on what they consider as entertainment. There's no poll. There's no room for a poll here in the studio.
Exactly.
All right, Chris, tell people a little bit about who you are. I mean, I kind of skip over that stuff because I've been working with you here for a few years, and I know a lot about you, and you do a lot of stuff for the show. But give people the rundown on how you came upon the Jeep Talk Show and how you got to be a volunteer.
Yeah, so I consider myself a lifelong Jeeper. My first vehicle was a 1990 YJ, and got that in high school. Growing up in the Detroit area and the automotive industry around it, worked as a mechanic during high school and college. Shortly thereafter, got into the automotive industry. Was without a Jeep for a few years. Tried to be a grown up, as they say, but then got back into a JK about 10 plus years ago. And how I found the Jeep Talk Show, I know we've talked about it before. I don't remember. I really got into listening to podcasts, and it was right when podcasting was just taking off. It was actually the first one I listened to. Give a shameless plug. The Adam Carolla Show started right around the same time as the Jeep Talk Show. I think a little bit before.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're in our 15th year, or
Yes, we're working on
okay,
15 now.
working on 15. So I stumbled across Jeep Talk Show just because I really quit listening to a lot of music and just listening to talk show. Found yourself and Josh at the time. And then about that same time, blogs were a big deal. And I had the delusions that I was going to make money with a blog. So I started a blog just writing about my adventures and misadventures. And then shared some of that with you. You allowed me to come on the show in a pre-recorded. Then before Zoom, I don't even think Zoom existed at the time. Did a couple pre-recorded segments, giving my opinion, my take on some
Oh,
things.
that's right.
Yeah, and so that's really how we got connected, and then started with now it's the round table, but the fireside chat that you and Josh would do after the Tuesday or Thursday episode, and really got involved more so with that, just like Larry, who I know is a host on the show with you once a week, and John and everybody on the team, and then got involved with the show notes. You were looking for volunteers, and then there's quite a team of us now.
Anybody I could offload work on is what I was looking for.
Exactly. And I was doing my blog stuff at the time, and then was able to stumble my way through helping with updating the show notes, and I still do that to this day. Because and it's part of it's all, I call it all selfishness because I'm a PC guy. I like to read. I do have a phone, obviously, but I really like to read. So I like to update the show notes. And then just what I really liked was the interviews. I mean, I like long format interviews, and I like the interviews. I know we
That's
had a
right,
chat.
because two
Yep.
things happened. I wasn't updating the show notes,
Yes.
and I wasn't getting people on for interviews because I was tired. Damn it!
Yes.
And
Yes.
you said, is there anything I can do to help? And I said, yeah, you could do the show notes. And how about getting guests for the interviews? I said, well, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's
Oh, it worked out perfect. Yeah.
only so many hours in a day, and I know you down there at Studio A are doing the show, doing the editing, and doing the publishing. So I volunteered and got involved, and I'm proud to be a part of it, and been able to make what we want to make folks aware of here is our Friday interview episode, and that's every week we have an interview with a guest that Tony will do a one-on-one interview via Zoom with a product company like we talked about, or a personality. We've had some personalities on the show. Um, uh, uh, Brad from Trail Recon, I know you've had him on a couple times. We had Matt from Matt's Off-Road Recovery on a couple years ago. So just got involved with that, and being in the automotive industry, being near Toledo, being in the Detroit area, I'm adjacent to a
It's
lot of
been
these
it's
folks.
been a wealth of opportunity to for you to meet people for the Jeep Talk Show, and getting them on the show. And there's been a couple of cases where high end people have you've met high end people, and they whenever they meet you again or they comment on it, they think they've met Tony. So,
Yes,
and we've
yes.
discussed like it doesn't matter. I don't care as long as
Ex-
if they think I'm you and you think me, is this the if I just make sure that you check the driver's licenses of those girls that say they're 18.
Exactly. Yeah, and I am bringing the beard back for 2025. I did a silly thing and shaved it off before the end of the year, but yeah, I did have a much fuller beard, somewhat like yourself. And you're right. Some people would say, "Hey, I saw you out in Moab," and I'm like, "No, no, no, I saw you out there with your Gladiator." I'm like, "No, that was Tony, and I'd
Well,
love to go to Moab. I just haven't
yeah,
been there."
and then it's well, I do have a Gladiator, but it's not red, and I wasn't in
Exactly.
Moab. Yeah, so it gets more and more complex.
But just as long as they recognize the show. And a great friend of the show, Tom Zielinski, which you interviewed just a few weeks ago. I met him at Toledo Jeep Fest. He said, "Hey, I know you," and I don't remember meeting Tom, but I had the Jeep Talk Show gear on, and
You know Tom now. You know Tom very well now.
yes, yes, know Tom very well. Great guy. And Tom runs Holly Oaks ORV Park, which is just north of Detroit. So that's my home ORV park, if you want to say that. I mean, it's closest to me. So able to go out there to Tom's events, and Tom's been gracious enough to let us be involved in helping with those events, and looking forward to give Tom a plug for Detroit Winterfest coming up on January 18th, Saturday, one day only. So go to forfestevents.com to get more information and register. And that's an event powered by Jeep. And going to those events got us connected with, at the time, Jim Morrison, who was the head of the Jeep brand. So you were able to interact and interview Tom and Jim in the same setting that we're talking about now. So yeah, we've had the head of Jeep on the Jeep Talk Show.
So you mentioned about your blog, and you couldn't make any money from that. I disagree.
Okay.
I think blogs have kind of gone to the wayside a bit, being pushed out by probably podcasts more so than anything else. But I think that if you work hard enough and long enough on something, it will become profitable. I'm not going to say multimillionaire, but I think you can make a pretty decent living, or at least an add-on. But it takes a lot of work, and it
Yes.
takes a lot of trial and error too. And I don't think the show would be doing as good as it's doing now had you not met up with people in your area. Tom Zielinski, absolutely. So I think there's a a limited amount of stuff you can do when you're located just in one geographical location.
Yes, yes. No, I absolutely agree. And I think that speaks a testament to the team, having Wendy out in Big Bear Lake, California. And I know you've went out there and visited her, and you got connected with Necks and Tires a few years ago, and
Hmm.
we've had Necks and Tires on the show several times over the years. So it's really, and I consider myself a people person, and I'm not shy about going up and talking to people and shaking somebody's hand, and it's fun to do. It's just fun to be a person. You meet somebody. Like I said, I'm a big fan of the Matt from Matt's Off Road Recovery, and got up to see him a couple years and was able to meet him along with Chuck and Bill from the team member Bill, and that was just really neat. Got to see the off world's largest off-road wrecker under construction. So just great, fun opportunities and good for the show at the same time.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about the interviews. To learn a little bit about you and why you're here, why you stay. I don't know. I guess you're having a good time. And certainly appreciate all the help that you've been giving us. It's much more so than just the show notes and getting guests. Obviously, being out there, going to like the Steer Smarts. What was it? Crawling and coffee, or coffee and crawling, or something like that. That event they've had there a few times.
Yeah,
Uh,
crawlers and coffee, and
yeah,
again,
crawlers. Shows.
it's right place. You nailed it. It's right place, right time. The Steer Smarts warehouse and technical center is 15-20 minutes from my day job. So going out there is great, especially on a nice summer morning, getting some free coffee and some free donuts, and seeing a bunch of cool Jeeps, and getting to interact with Jay and his team there at Steer Smarts.
And I know you've gone over to Greg's place, unofficial use only, delivering some wood for his wood furnace. And
Yes.
Greg just enjoys people hanging out anyway. So you're over there close to him. You're close to like you said, the Holly Oaks. So there's just all kinds of places you can pop up in. And now it's like they're talking to the Jeep Talk Show.
Yes, American Expedition Vehicles is another one. I know you've had Matt, I believe it's Matt, on the show a couple times, and they're 20 minutes from where I'm at every day, Monday
Hmm.
through Friday. So
Oh, and most recently, Natalie, Mike and Natalie at High Lift Off Road. You guys haven't got to be at the High Lift at the same time because Natalie has only started working full time in 2025, so that's going to be her one and only job. So she's going to be more likely to be available whenever you're available to stop by and say hello, meet Mike. I don't. You've met Mike, haven't you?
yeah, I met Mike at Detroit 4 Fest in the summer two
Yeah.
years ago. I met Mike briefly, but yeah, and it just happens that where my kids go to college, I passed right by High Lift Off Road on the way there to visit them on the way come
Cincinnati,
Cincinnati.
as we call it.
Cincinnati. I think that's what Natalie calls it, is Cincinnati.
Yeah. So yeah, so a lot of things coming together, and it has a lot to do with our team members and volunteers and listeners like you guys, or viewers like you guys. Yeah, I said viewers because we're on YouTube, and you should check out our videos that we have on YouTube.
Yeah. And please like and subscribe
Yes.
on YouTube. I saw now, speaking of, I just interject this. There's another podcast that I've listened to on racing, and the gentleman commented he'd been getting some hate for asking people to like and subscribe, and he put his metrics up there, and he tracked every day. He didn't say it on every show. He does a daily show like we do. He doesn't say it on every show, but every day he mentions it, his subscriptions on YouTube go up.
Man, I wish that was the case for us. All right. So the point of you being here, other than just visiting with us today, is I would like to, we do the interview stuff all the time, so it's second nature to us. But there may be some people out there that are curious about doing an interview on the show. Surprisingly to me, the people really enjoy the interviews that I do, and I'm really happy about that. I'm just doing what Tony does. And I can quite understand very well that if you enjoy the interview, it's like, well, that sounded like that was fun. I want to do it too. And I thought it'd be a good opportunity for us to get in here and talk about it and dispel some of the rumors as far as, or some of the things you may be thinking about it being difficult to get on. Number one, I'm nobody. They don't want to talk to me. And that's not the case. Like I said earlier, as long as there's a Jeep involved, that's really our only requirement.
No, absolutely. And then the only thing we ask for is folks, is your time. And it's very,
Oh, that's right.
very,
We've had people ask how much.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. People, oh, how much? And just your time, 45 minutes, an hour ish. We do about an hour show, maybe a couple minutes under that. So it's just your time. And again, I just want to dispel that because I was at an event. I don't know if it was one of Tom's events. It might have been Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion 2 years ago. I approached a gentleman, talked to him about it. He says, "Well, how much is it going to cost me?" I said, "Just your time." And we do, that should back up. It's done via Zoom, just like we're doing now. I'm in one location in one state, you're in another state, and we do pre-record them. So if I
Oh, that's
approach
another
you,
good point because some
yeah,
people get nervous about being live.
yes, yes, or they're at an event. We don't want to take anything away. Like I tell folks at events, I'd like to get some of their time, and I'm aware I'm in sales myself. I don't want to take you away from selling. I
Right.
just like to get your information, meet you, see your product, understand it, and get connected with you so you can get connected with Tony to do the interview. And we pre-record them. Tony pre-records them and then releases them on a Friday, and then we do first come, first serve. And we try to, get a few weeks out so we have one in the can. If you have an event, I don't want to forget if you have an event, we'd like to get on with you. What would you say, 2 or 3 weeks prior to that event, Tony?
3 weeks prior, I say, is the sweet spot. About 30 days from when the episode is published to when the event is, because that gives you the best saturation. If you're trying to get people to go to your event.
Right, right. So yeah, it's recorded and released on a Friday. Team member Steve will follow up with you and let you know your interview's been released. It's published on YouTube. We'd love to have folks on multiple times, not too close together. 6 weeks ish. I know we've had Dan Greck on. I think is the most frequent flyer guest from The
Mm-hmm.
Road Chose Me, and couple 3 times a year. Dan's doing great work out there, and I think he's still in Greenland or Iceland. It's Iceland.
I'm
It's
gonna say
Iceland right
I'm
now.
gonna say Iceland. I was watching some of
Yeah,
his video the other day, drone shots, and man, I did. There was a road there, but kind of, sorta. It was all
yeah,
covered in snow.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, so how we go about it, obviously, having in our 15th year publication, we've got some chops and some horsepower behind it, but reach out to folks. I'm preferential to calling folks if I can find a number
And that's
and
just
get it.
amazing to me. I think it's great. You get a lot of activity out of that too. It's just, I'm just not in sales, and I just hate calling people. I'm trying to get better about it though, because people like talking.
They do, and it's my mantra, especially following up on any open issues or things you have in the business world, is phone call, email, 15-minute follow-up meeting. So it's just rinse and repeat. But just reach out ideally via phone, and then follow up with an email. I would send you an email with a link to website. To our website, but a web form. Just fill that out. We're just going to ask, who is going to be doing the interview. I may contact somebody and they want to have the owner or the marketing director of said company do the interview. So they'll fill that out. We'll ask you for your URL so Tony can put that in the show notes as well as have it on the YouTube display and their contact details, and then hook up and record the interview. Also ask for some images, logos, so that can be inlaid. Tony, I think you do a great job with the chyrons or whatever they call them with the logos. So just prep that, and then the second step, and I just want to emphasize this. I try to emphasize it on the phone and the email. After you've entered that information, step two will take you to a calendar application that will show you Tony's availability, and you can lay that against your availability to find a date and time that you can record that interview.
And there's quite a few, quite a few dates and times available. We expanded it to during the day on those days that I'm available during the day, because the interviews prior were being recorded probably after the business day.
Hmm.
So, and if you're working in a business and you got stuff to do at night, it'd be nice that if you got paid and you did an interview, is the way I'm looking at it. So, speaking of paid interviews, Chris, do you feel comfortable? And you can say no, but do you feel comfortable talking about, maybe not specifically the companies or your company that pay for interviews and how much they pay? I always found that side of things very interesting.
Yes, I'll leave the names out, but I've got a great face for radio myself, and I've done some several podcasts, interviews, videos for my in my professional role and my day job, and with traditional media, magazines, primarily magazines, some of them print only, in the thousands of dollars for a podcast, for an interview, for an 8-minute video. And but that's traditional media. That's traditional media. It'd be great if we could get thousands of dollars every Friday, but that's not what we're after. We want to get your message out there as the interviewee and promote your company. And or your service or your message. So yeah, it's mind blowing. And I've had opportunities, and as I've done quite a few over the last year and a half in my day job, and somebody else actually maybe wants to have us on their show, and they want $2,500 for 8 minutes. And it's like, thank you, but no, thank you. That's not gonna fly. It really surprises me. I mean, good money if you can get it.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
It's just, to me, it's not the long-term play.
No.
Uh,
And I really like the idea of getting the little guys on here. I mean, the big guys too, but I like it, the whole idea of getting the little guys on there. They're struggling, and we have struggled for years to gain audience. And if we can help other people to gain audience, other podcasters as well, it doesn't just have to be somebody selling products.
yes.
I'm happy to do it. Whatever we can do to help you guys, short of paying you, giving you large sums of money for advertising. My time and the time of the show to get that interview out there, I think is great. And also too, it's great for the individual, because if you've got something interesting to sell or to talk about, that's beneficial to the Jeep Talk Show listener. Speaking of which, you're wearing a hat of one such individual that I don't remember how you got G Tops on the show, or how you knew about them or whatever. But that was a very interesting interview about a very interesting product. And we now, both of us, have a really good relationship with the owner of G-Tops. And it didn't have anything to do with him giving us money or us giving him anything. It's just that we have fun talking.
Yes. Yeah.
And finding out how G-Tops is progressing in their sales and service.
Yes, yeah, Chris, also named Chris. So G-Tops Chris.
Yeah, we got to get Chris to change his name.
Yeah, he gave me some cards to hand out at events and things like that. And I've been showing off the G-Tops I have in my Gladiator, and it's Chris at xjtalk.com. And I have to explain to people, it's not me. My name is Chris, but I'm Chris at xjtalk.com. But yeah, Chris at G-Tops is great. Consider him a friend. Had the privilege to spend time with him and his family at Detroit 4Fest just past summer out at Hollyoaks, and had dinner and drinks, and really good person, great company, great product. And yeah, just not something I'd heard of, and I thought I knew everything about Jeeps, just like every other Jeeper. But great, let the light in, I believe, is Chris's tagline. So they're impact modified acrylic inserts that are built into your existing Freedom panels and can be built into your the rear top on Gladiator or JL and even JK.
Yep, and it was really cool. And just I forget what they call it. They have not Food and Drug Administration. That'd be a different kind of show. The Fair Trade Association. You're supposed to let people know whenever you get product. Free product for things. And I did get free product from G-Tops for the 2021 Jeep Talk Show Gladiator. Chris got his through us doing a trade for advertising. So we advertised for G-Tops, and Chris got a set of G-Tops for his Jeep. Or the Freedom panels in his Gladiator were modified into G-Top Freedom panels. And you're loving them, aren't you, Chris?
Yeah, I love them. Yeah, they're great. And I'm a taller guy like you, and JL, JT, I think compared to my JK, the windshield's a little bit shorter overall, I think, at least in my crazy mind it is. But I like them because I can see the lights. You don't have to stop short of the light as much. So you can see traffic lights. I mean, simple
Wow,
things.
your head's really up there. I don't have any
Yes,
problem seeing the lights, the traffic lights.
yes.
I thought you meant
Yes.
like UFOs or
Well, that too. I mean, that's in the news lately. So, I mean, if you're in New Jersey, get a hold of xtops.com and you can have a better drone
you can
viewing
track that
experience.
drone easier without having to lean forward and look up to the windshield. You can just raise your head up and look. Yeah.
Yeah, you might not wreck as often. So, but in all seriousness, a really great product. I do believe, as Chris states, that it quiets the cabin a bit. Believe it or not.
Which is
Uh,
amazing.
yeah, has no adverse effect on heating. Is where it's pretty cold here in Michigan. No issue with that. It's just nice, and it's very impressive. People get in and they're like, oh wow, and they
Oh yeah, you
what?
immediately notice it because there's this light coming in from above you.
Hmm.
You probably wouldn't notice it at night until you drove under like a light, street light or something, and then you go, "Oh my God!" It was funny. We were my wife and I were driving someplace today, and something in my peripheral vision caught my eye, but it was above my head, and I looked up. It was a helicopter. Now that helicopter would have gone unnoticed, and it wasn't like
Yes.
right on us or anything like that. It was up there a ways, and I was like, "What the hell is that?" Oh, it's a helicopter, and just kind of keep going. It's neat. It's neat being able to see and see out. All right, Chris. So let's get back to the talk about getting on the show. Now we do interview. We have an interview episode every Friday, and we record the interview. We're trying not to record too much into the future because we don't want things to change or events to go by that you're talking about in the interview. So 2 to 3 weeks prior to the release date, we're keeping it pretty tight. At one point, we were like 6 or 8 months queued up. That was really cool until somebody said, "Hey, well, wish I had known that this wasn't going to be on for 6 months. I wouldn't have talked about the last 5 events I'm going to be at the before this is out." And oh,
Yeah.
gee,
Yeah.
of course, that's so stupid.
Yeah, we did get a little bit over our skis, as they say, I think is the right analogy. And yeah, I remember listening to some, and there's references to Halloween and everything. It's like, oh wow, and we're into
I always
January,
tried to
so
stay away from the,
yeah,
the dates and stuff like
yeah.
that. But when people were talking about events, I didn't give it two thoughts. It was like, but it makes sense. And it's like I'm sure people were going, "Oh, that sucks. I missed
Hmm.
that."
Hmm. Yeah, but I mean, you mentioned the dates, and it's something. Derek from Rock Rash Off Road was an early interview a year and a half, 2 years ago, and I know he chose to offer a discount code. And I saw him at an event last year, and he was on the show once or twice, and he mentioned to me that that discount code he'd set in place for a certain period of time, it was still coming up a year after his interview. So I just want
That's
to
great.
emphasize that point. If anybody's new to podcasting or considering, doing an interview with your company, it's evergreen. I mean, these things podcasts live in perpetuity. And I've met listeners that have new to the Jeep Talk show. Some folks, they might spend a lot of time behind the windshield. Maybe they're over the road truck driver or something, and they're going back and listening to the back catalog. So your interview will be there in perpetuity. And that's another thing, getting back to, you were talking about the advertising of my day job. I mean, the money that's spent, the thousands of dollars that are spent for 30 days, 45 days, and then it disappears. It's just
Yeah.
not there anymore.
Well, you got to keep paying that money out. I mean, that's that you
Yes.
keep stimulating the economy.
Yes.
And we have no problem having you guys on. And yes, we do advertising, we do live reads, and there's a few other things that we can do for any businesses that want to advertise. That's not our goal in having you on. I mean, our goal, frankly, of having you on is having something interesting for our listeners and our viewers to enjoy. And I mentioned viewers, and you've been making it clear in the emails you send out to folks that we record both audio and video.
Yes. Yes.
So because we're doing a big push here for YouTube, and we're not going to use a static image of somebody. I mean, there's always a possibility that we could do that, but it is not our first choice. We want to have good content for both listeners and our viewers.
Yeah, and it makes for better content. I mean, a more somewhat recent interview was forgetting the gentleman's name, but CMM Off Road. You had a great interview with CMM Off Road, and he was able to hold up product and show it to you and
Hmm.
explain it, and that's cool. I mean, I learned from that interview, what certain products do, and what the features are. And I know when you've interviewed Chris from G-Top, so you can see the shop, you get some inside baseball as to some of these companies and what how they're doing what they're doing.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing to do. We do audio only episodes, but they're also video, so you can still consume it audio only because there's places you're not going to be looking at video. I mean, like we say on the show all the time, mowing the grass, working out at the gym, having relations with your wife. I mean, I would probably look into that if you need some additional stimulation, but sometimes listening makes more sense.
Well,
Um,
and the videos too, the Jeep Talk Show, and I tell folks who I interact with, I mean, the Jeep Talk Show is available anywhere you get finer podcasts, which is everywhere. But Spotify, Jeep Talk Shows on Spotify, and a neat feature I just started using Spotify when you mentioned it to me was the video. So you can, in the Spotify app on your phone, you can start watching it or listening to it, and you can just switch in between.
Oh,
And you could,
press a
and
little button and boom, it doesn't miss a beat. You just
yes,
the video's off, the audio continues. Press it again, the video's on, and it doesn't even stop. And there's no pause. It's really
yeah.
cool. I think it's going to be a big deal. I think it's going to be a big difference for the podcast apps out there. Ways, where do you go? Well, you go to the most convenient place.
Yes.
So. Oh, let me throw this out there really quick, because I don't think we've talked about this. I want to get your take on it. What do you think is going to happen with podcasts, primarily because of this last election and how Joe Rogan's podcast was used to, I think, a great benefit for now President-elect Trump to get on there and have a long conversation with Joe and take the hard questions Joe was giving him. And now they're even talking about maybe getting rid of a few of the traditional media out of the White House press briefing room and replacing them with podcasters.
I think that's a great idea. Obviously, I'm biased, being part of the Jeep Talk Show podcast, as well as an avid podcast listener. I just very recently started to listen to and watch some of Joe's stuff, probably around when President Trump was on. Yeah, I think it's a game changer because there's so many out there. There's many great podcasts out there, many more every day, I'm sure. But yeah, I think it's a game changer because it's real. It's just folks like you and I who
Well,
have an interest and a passion,
I mean,
and
podcasters can lie too, but
yes,
you know the you know that mainstream media has been lying. So let's try somebody else. That's the
yes,
way I look at it. Uh,
yes,
and I think that the other cool thing is too, and this happened I think in the music industry whenever Napster came out, with the internet and stuff, it vastly changed things because instead of having to go to some corporation to get your music, now you could go directly to the individual. And it's
yes,
the same things happening with podcasting. You do not have to go to a corporation to get your information, which used to be fine before they started manipulating it and everybody's telling you the same thing to try to control what you think. And that's the reason why people are interested in podcasts, is because they feel they're going to get a better chance of hearing the truth. I mean, it could be wrong. Obviously, somebody can misunderstand something, and just because they talk about it on the show doesn't mean they're right. But they're not the only source. I mean, there's anybody that can talk and has a phone can do a podcast.
yes, and it's something I think it's obviously we talked a lot about the video and the YouTube and watching it, but it's just like old time radio, not old time radio, but talk radio. And I was a big talk radio fan before podcasts existed, and it's more personal. If you're
Yep.
driving by yourself or you got the earbuds in, doing whatever you're doing, it speaks to you differently than traditional media does. And I think with the long format guys like Joe Rogan, I mean, there's podcasts that are multi-hour long, multiple days a week, and those are really taking off. And I mean, we have 5 episodes a week, and I believe that's helped the Jeep Talk Show tremendously. I mean, 5 new hours per week of just the Jeep Talk Show, and I completely agree. I think it's changing the media game for sure.
Yeah, it allows a lot of people that wouldn't really stand a chance, and maybe for good reason, being in the high end corporations like Fox or Sirius XM. I think Megan Kelly does very good on Sirius XM with her show. I guess you could consider it a podcast, but it's a show. She makes millions of dollars off of that. Has a large audience, much more so than complete networks like MSNBC or CNN. But they dug their own grave. I'm not going to say that what they do isn't interesting. That what they do is, in my opinion, is dishonest. And why do you? I mean, I guess some people like being lied to. I don't know. I don't. I never have cared for it. So that's the only thing I can think of is if you're. Watch a soap opera if you want to be lied to. All right, Chris. So the idea behind getting people on the show is that we need your interview. We do a guest interview every Friday, and when I say we do one, we record it ahead of time, and then we edit it and put it out every Friday. So we don't have to have you on this week. We don't have to have you on next week. It could be a month from now because we're going to need you on the show. We need one every week. And if you have something that you're selling, something that you want, or just something that you want to share about going off-road, maybe a trail that you went on and you had such a great time, or maybe Eastern Jeep Safari. This is what happened to me at Eastern Jeep Safari, or this is what I put on my Jeep and it worked so well, and I just want to share that with you guys. Anything, as long as there is something Jeep related in the show or in the story. I was really happy that we got an astronomer, a quite famous astronomer, on the show. She made comment about her Jeep. She had recently sold it, but she made comment about her Jeep, and I immediately started trying to get her on the show. Got her on the show. It was a really fun interview. I kind of went all geeky astronomy buff on her and asked more astronomy questions than Jeep questions. But it was really good. And quite often, Jeeps can bind us together. If you have a Jeep, even if you don't go off-road, you are part of that club. And I think you kind of feel it as being one of the Jeepers. And it's fun to talk about Jeeps. So you don't have to be a big shot. You don't have to have any big accolades in the Jeeping world. We're more than happy to have you on. Now, you can be on the show if you're part of a company or own a company. We've had Dennis from Terraflex on a few times. I remember we had Dan from Northridge 4x4 on the show. That was a fun interview. Steve from Power Tank has been on the show. You mentioned Jim Morrison, former head of Jeep for North America, was on the show. And so it's a lot of fun talking to those people, especially when you can ask them, is there going to be a V8 and a Gladiator? And they say, well, I wouldn't have a job tomorrow if I answered that question.
Exactly. Well, I think another great guest and it's always entertaining is the other Tony Pellegrino.
Oh, Tony Pellegrino's fun. He is a big teacher. He wants to teach people how Jeeps work and why when you do a modification, why you're doing that modification or why you shouldn't. So he's really, really good. He's a very good teacher.
Yes.
So, and I guess we all should say that the Chick Chat episode that we have on Mondays, they're doing their own interviews, and I think they've been scheduling those. But you've been involved in some of those interview schedulings as well, haven't you?
Yes, I have. So that's their Monday female-centric episode, and that's the A team and the B team. We've got Wendy and Janet, I believe, is on the A team.
Wendy and Amanda. Amanda's the real brand new Walker. What's it? Walker Texas Jeeper, something like that. And Amanda, and then and the B team is Natalie of High Lift Off Road, and Janet, Precision Graphics and Marketing.
Yeah.
So every week. So now we're doing 5 episodes a week. Friday is our interview episode. And if you would like to get in on the interview thing and doing it, and maybe you don't know, maybe you're kind of interested in doing an interview, but you're not too sure. Hey, we can always get on the Zoom and do exactly what Chris and I are doing right now and just have a chat. And I think that you're going to feel very comfortable after chatting a while and go, that's not bad. I can do an interview. You don't like Public speaking, I don't blame you. There's a lot of people that can't handle that. But this really isn't public speaking. It's just a couple of people talking on the phone or video conference type thing. So it is very easy to do, and I think everybody can do it. But if you don't want to, we certainly understand that. I just got the feeling that if you're selling a product or selling yourself, you're doing a disservice not taking the free advertisement that you're getting from letting people know who you are.
Absolutely.
All right, Chris, was there anything else that you can think of before we wrap this up? I think we covered it all. There's a form that you fill out. You can just go over to go to your email and send an email message to guest@jeeptalkshow.com if you're interested in being a guest on the show. And Chris or myself, or maybe even Bob, FU Bob, may reach out to you and start the process of getting you signed up. It really is just sending you a link to the form that we have online. You fill it out, and then you'll schedule yourself on the calendar. And then the next thing you know, you'll be on the show, recording your interview, and 30 to 45 minutes later, you're done. The only thing we ask you to do is when we let you know when the show is published is that you share that with any of your social media people, because it's a benefit for both of us. It's a benefit for us because now there's more people that know about the Jeep Talk Show. And the benefit for you is that they get a chance to know you a little better. And if the only way they get to know you is by talking to you on the phone, maybe when they've got a complaint or can't figure out how to read the instructions, you talking to them in an interview is going to be a lot better. Hell, we even have it set up where you can post the interview on your website. So now you don't even have to advertise it. You can just put it there on your About page and let them listen or watch your interview and learn more about you and your company. All right, Chris. Well, thank you a lot for being here with us tonight. And you are going to be our Friday interview. And actually, I should let you know it's going to be this Friday. So this is like tomorrow from the time and date that we're recording it. Hope you had a very good Christmas and a even better New Year. And you'll be probably hearing from Chris shortly after you send out an email at guest@jeeptalkshow.com. Making it clear that you'd like to be on the show. Have a great night, Chris. Thank you again.
Thanks, you too.
Broadcasting since 2010.
You're my friend. You're my new friend.